Hi, Joy Olson, Blockbuster Fundraising. Today we're going to talk about ways to boost your nonprofit's online fundraising. WiredImpact has a great guide out that we're borrowing information from today, and they say that when it comes to fundraising, almost all nonprofits turning nowadays to the web. Of course you are. So even if online fundraising isn't yet a major part of your nonprofit's approach, almost all of us could benefit from using it to supplement our more traditional fundraising tactics. But hey, simply dropping a donation form onto your website likely won't produce the kinds of results that you're looking for. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We are from WiredImpact. We're going to talk about why you should focus on online fundraising and best practices to boost your nonprofit's online fundraising, why you should create a strong donation process, and writing strong website content, and how about this, fostering and maintaining relationships. So this is going to be a day where you're going to really learn a lot of great online fundraising tips. Well, first of all, why focus on online fundraising? There are some nonprofits out there that are still unconvinced that online fundraising is necessary given their situation. However, there is a mega data that suggests online fundraising is not only here to stay, but is having an increasing impact in the nonprofit space. While each study's data may differ, one thing is very clear. Online revenue in the nonprofit sector is growing. So how about some best practices to boost your nonprofit's online fundraising? There's no one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to fundraising online. You'll have to tailor it to fit your nonprofit, the work you do, and the community of donors that you're looking to engage. But there are certainly a variety of best practices that you should consider when looking to boost the effectiveness of your online fundraising efforts. And it is certainly our hope today, and WiredImpact's hope, that you'll take some of these tips and adapt them to work well for your nonprofit. Okay, first things first, you want to create a strong donation process. When it comes to getting the most out of online fundraising for your nonprofit, your donation process is key. And here are 13 tips. Enable giving directly through your website. If at all possible, give website visitors the option to donate directly through your website. Doing so helps maintain trust, since you aren't kicking them unexpectedly to a third-party site when it comes time to pull out their credit card. Now you want to match your donation page to your design. Make the design of your donation page match that of your website. Even if you have to use a third-party platform to collect these donations, and disregard the previous suggestion, ensure that your design is consistent. Sometimes you'll hear this called a branded donation page, since it has been designed to match the look and feel of your brand. According to one study, branded donation pages raise 6 times as much as unbranded generic donation pages. I totally believe that with all my heart. Hey, create a strong donation process with donate buttons. Make your button stand out visually. Make it easy for visitors to spot your donation button by making it stand out visually from the rest of your website. And you can do this in a variety of ways, including using a different color than the rest of your navigation, giving it room by physically setting it apart from other buttons and links. Hey, make it larger than other elements in your navigation, and use a larger, distinct font. The key is to make sure that your donate button is easy to spot right away. You don't want someone interested in donating having to hunt for the donate button. So you're going to make your donate button, stand out visually. Here's a good example of that. worldwildlife.org. You see it there on the screen. Make your donation button visible on every page. Hey, no two donors are exactly alike. Some visitors will be ready to donate quickly, make a donation, while others will want to peruse your site and gather a bunch of information before making their donation. So, to accommodate all of your potential donors, make your donate button visible on every page of your website. Don't just rely on that large red donate button in the middle of your home page. Keep your donate button in the same place. Make sure your donate button has a reserved place in your website's header. It could be a part of the navigation or a standalone button, but it should be consistent throughout your entire website. You can and should also incorporate buttons and links prompting visitors to donate throughout your website's content, but ensure that you have a static home for your donate button as well, because when a visitor decides that they're ready to donate, you want it to be as easy as possible for them to make it happen. Always keep the button above the fold. The amount of your website a visitor can see totally depends on the resolution of their screen. So to ensure all visitors can find your donate button, put it above the fold or high up in the site in a portion of the design visible on the vast majority of screens. They suggest incorporating it into your website's header in some way. That way, regardless of the screen a visitor is using to view your site, they'll be able to spot your donate button. So you want to simplify your donation process. How? Ask for only necessary information. When collecting information from donors, ask only for information that is absolutely necessary. If you can't come up with a very compelling reason for asking your donors to share a particular piece of information, cut it. Long forms can be daunting and frustrating, and research shows that more form fields generally lead to fewer form completions. The last thing that you want to do is alienate a potential donor because your donation form is too complicated. Now, ask for information in a logical order. Your donation form should ask donors for information in a logical order for sure. For instance, don't ask for credit card info before asking for their first and last name. Whenever possible, ease them into the process with general common questions like name or email address. Remember, ask for information in a logical order. Here is a good nonprofit example at invisiblechildren.com. You see it up there on the screen. Now for longer processes, indicate where they are. WiredImpact highly suggests that you keep your donation process short whenever possible. But if for some reason it spans multiple pages, indicate to the visitor their progress in completing the donation process. Show a progress bar at the top of the screen or tell them they're on page 1 of 3. Doing so takes the mystery out of the length of your process and makes it more likely that a potential donor will stick with it until their donation is complete. So for longer processes, remember, indicate the progress. Tell them where they are in the process. Here is a good nonprofit example, SaveTheChildren.org from the UK. Now, indicate clearly what you're asking for in each field. You never want a visitor to wonder, what exactly are they asking for here? Make sure that every field on your form has a clear label indicating what information that you're looking for. Ask friends or family to test the form Watch them walk through the process. If they hesitate or have trouble providing any information, it likely means you need to clarify what you're asking for. This is very important. You want to create a strong donation process by encouraging recurring donations. Hey, recurring donations have multiple benefits. They provide your nonprofit with a more reliable source of revenue. They don't require you to solicit a past donor to give again, and they tend to lead to a more overall giving. So while the actual growth in recurring donations varies from study to study, most find that the growth in recurring donations do outpace online giving in general. So regardless of which data you use, the growth in recurring donations is apparent, and it's worth incorporating into your fundraising efforts if possible. Many nonprofits spend a lot of time thinking about their donation experience, but when the moment of actually making a donation comes along, it's often a bit anticlimactic for the donor. The moment after your donors make a donation, what do they see? Many nonprofits take their donors after the donation to a generic thanks for donating page with a bit of text appreciating their contribution. While this sentiment is appropriate, your post-donation experience can and should be so much more. So create a strong post-donation experience. Keep your donors totally immersed in the good work they're enabling. Provide videos made by your community tailored to thanking a recent donor, or provide first-hand accounts from the people that will benefit from their contribution, or have a photo gallery and share stories from those touched by your organization. Many donors will be feeling a bit of a high after making a donation. Keep these good feelings flowing. Doing so can ensure that they'll want to donate again in the future. You want to test, this is so important, test your donation process every few months for sure. Walk through it from start to finish to ensure that everything is working how you'd expect. We would do it weekly, especially near year end. It's so important. Also, this is great tip. Open it up in multiple web browsers. The most popular ones like Chrome, Firefox, Safari. Websites can display differently in various browsers. They do display differently. Just because it looks great in Chrome doesn't gonna mean it's gonna look right or even function properly in Internet Explorer. So testing in multiple browsers will help you ensure that everything is working properly for all your visitors. So remember that. You're going to test your donation process periodically. And if your donation process is broken, it's unlikely that a potential donor is going to reach out to tell you. They'll just likely leave your website, probably a bit frustrated and think you don't really know what you're doing. How about strong website content? How do you write strong website content? Because the content you include on your website, from the story of your organization to how the donations will be used, can have a significant impact, really significant, on the effectiveness of your online fundraising. So here are some tips on content. Specify how you'll use donations. Many donors want to know where their money will be going before they decide to give. So providing details up front on how their money will be spent demonstrates your nonprofit's transparency. It also makes it easier for potential donors to picture the impact that their contribution is going to have. People are more likely to financially support a specific cause than an abstract idea. It's a lot easier to imagine giving $100 to provide a year of clean drinking water for 5 children than it is to improve health outcomes for kids in Africa. So, whenever possible, provide your potential donors with a clear, tangible explanation of the benefit that their donation will have in your community. You're going to specify how you'll use their donations. Here's a good nonprofit example from SaturdayPlace.org. Take a look. Make your financials easy to find. Make your $9.90 and annual reports easy to spot. Some potential donors will want to review your financials before making a contribution. Others will take comfort in the fact that you are making these documents readily available, and they may trust you more as a result. Make it very clear that you're a 501c3. Many potential donors want to make sure that you're a 501c3 and that their donation is tax deductible. Don't make them hunt for this information. Share it directly on your donation page. Next, tell your potential donors, how you're going to follow up. Donors are giving in an effort to make an impact. How will you show them that they're actually making a difference? How will you share progress towards achieving your mission? Before they give, tell potential donors how you'll be accountable to them. Will you send them periodic email updates, or perhaps post updates on your blog? And of course, once you've told them what to expect, you need to actually do what you said you would. Now show donors how specific donations were used whenever you can. Show individual donors how their specific contributions were used. While this may not always be possible, the increased level of specificity can go and will go a long way. Now, one way to do this is to fundraise as a part of a campaign. Earmark all the donations that come in during a given month as going towards a certain program. Then tell all donors that gave in that month the good that they've created. Failing to share outcomes with your donors really may lead them to stop giving in the future. One study on donor attrition found that 8% dropped out if you can't show them the impact of their past donations. Your past donors have likely made a substantial impact in the community. Show this off prominently on your website. Doing so not only makes past donors feel appreciated, but it also shows a level of accountability to potential donors. Plus, it helps them envision the impact that they can make by giving to your organization. Hey, something else donors want to know right now. How are you going to use their personal information? Your donors deserve to know how you'll use their personal information. Just because they made a donation doesn't mean they want you to spam them with email. So figure out exactly how you'll be using their personal information and outline it in a way that they'll be able to understand and feel comfortable with. Here's a great idea for your website. Include thoughts from past donors. Thoughts from past donors can help persuade potential donors to give. You can publish their words on your donation page. You can also ask them to write blog posts for you. Their words will serve as a testimonial of sorts to those interested in potentially becoming donors themselves. Another great tip, use video to interview members of your community. Or if video will be tough, conduct an interview that you then write up and share on your website, and take a bunch of photos to post along with that story. Ask community members what your organization means to them. Ask them to share a story of a time that they've interacted with your nonprofit, and ask them what they'd like to tell a potential donor. These unfiltered stories can resonate with potential donors and emotionally invest them in your cause. So use stories told directly by the community you serve. Many nonprofits write up a description of the community they serve. Instead, allow members of the community to tell their stories and talk about your organizations themselves. Certainly, on your website, you want to showcase the problem that you're addressing. Your donors need to know what problem their donation will be addressing. Sometimes you'll hear this described as establishing the need. Use individual stories to illustrate the problem and establish emotional connections. Use data to show the breadth of the problem throughout the community you serve. Stories and data can be a formidable one-two punch. So you're going to showcase the problem that you're addressing. A good nonprofit example here is designedtomove.org. Take a look. You want to establish authority around your mission. Potential donors want to give to an organization that they believe understands how to address the problem they're tackling. Establishing knowledge of your field can help foster trust and a belief that you're well equipped to make an impact. So establish your authority by sharing informative, helpful content throughout your website. Write about the various issues surrounding your mission on your blog. Create pages rich with information and data aimed at those interested in your cause. The more you show you have a deep understanding of your cause, the more likely someone passionate about your cause will support you. And certainly, you want to inspire hope that the problem is solvable. The more concretely that you can discuss what's necessary to overcome the problem, the more likely it is that you'll be seen as a potential avenue to provide the solution. So show your nonprofit is a solution. Once you've established the problem, make it evident that your organization is a part of the solution. You want to make your cause easy to articulate. People are much less likely to support something they don't really understand. Even if your mission is complicated, figure out a way to explain it in a simple way. If someone can explain what you do, there's a greater chance that they're going to support you and tell others about you. And lastly, foster and maintain relationships. Developing a relationship with a potential donor can and will significantly increase the likelihood that they'll ultimately decide to support your cause. And once you've received a donation, that's not the end, it's merely the beginning. So it's the beginning, and you want to make reaching out to you easy. Some people are traditional. They like to talk to a person before making any kind of a monetary contribution. Make it easy for them to find the right person to talk to directly on your website. That's all about relationship building. And provide multiple ways to connect with you. Some visitors may not be ready to donate the first time that they visit your website. Provide these folks with the opportunities to connect with your organization. Make it easy to sign up for your newsletter. Point them to your social media accounts. Give them ways to easily keep tabs on what you're up to as an organization. They may become a supporter at some time in the future. Good nonprofit example of this is ACLU.org. Take a look. Thank your donors publicly and privately. Personalize your thank you messages as much as you possibly can. Tell them how much they mean to the work you do. Share it on social media. Send them personalized emails. Make them feel special for getting involved. Donors that don't feel appreciated are so much less likely to continue giving in the future. In one study, 13% of donors said that the fact they were never thanked for donating was the main reason that they weren't supporting a nonprofit again in the future. So listen, your donors make all that you do possible. They sure deserve more than a tax receipt. Hey, this is Joy Olson, joyolsongroup.com, blockbusterfundraising.com, saying thank you for having been here today. Find us on YouTube. We've got so many free fundraising tips for you there. Find us every Tuesday. We go live 1 p.m. right now, Pacific Daylight Time. We're loving our Instagram, IGTV channel. What we really love most is the opportunity to bring you tips, inspirational ideas to make your fundraising the very best that it can be to help your cause just do great things. So thanks for having been here today. Again, Joy Olson. Bye-bye.